Rabbi Nachman, he talks about this concept called the Mesader u'Meyashev et hamochin, the settling, the collecting, and the organizing of the mind. This is an amazing concept. You can take a look at it if you like. Likutei Moharan, lesson 24. The idea is like this, that there is what's called the infinite light of God, and it's expressed in the highest form of the revelation of Hashem, the highest, if you want to call it, Sphira, which is a type of an expansion of a beginning of revealing God's power in the creation of the world and in the world itself after creation. It's called Keter in the Kabbalah, and this is basically Hashem's infinite light shining. Now, it is the tendency and the nature of anyone in creation to run after light, to run after good, to run after something which appears to be bright and shining and elevating and uplifting. It is the nature of a human tendency to run after that. But Rabbi Nachman teaches that any person who tries to run after this infinite light, when and if being exposed to a person, will inevitably crash. Because Hashem designed this light in such a way that it can only be perceived through a vessel. In other words, you have to constrict yourself to go to the opposite direction in order to perceive this light through the constriction and the vessel that you are building. It's phenomenal. Because again, the tendency of a person is to run after the light. But here Rabbi Nachman teaches you won't perceive it like that. You'll crash. Because you are coming as you are, which means a limited human existence, a human mind. And this light is infinite. It's two opposites. It's a big light. You are running after it, but you cannot perceive it unless you build a type of a wall, a vessel, a constriction that will settle your mind from running after this light. Through the settling of this of your mind, you will perceive this light. This is achieved fully by the greatest tzaddikim. This is in fact, Rav Nosson explains, the way how the greatest tzaddikim are able to perceive the greatest perceptions of Hashem and then filter it even more and bring it down to us, their average Joe Schmo, that we can perceive it on a daily, practical level. Now, with this said, this is the standard picture and approach of anyone who begins to serve Hashem, whether it's a Baal Tshuva or a convert or someone beginning to have a major boost in wanting to serve Hashem. What happens then is that, yes, a big light, this infinite light, is being exposed to the person, but it's a test in a way. And on one hand, it's something good and positive that the person wants to follow this light. On the other hand, it's part of the nature. It's the human tendency to see when a person, anyone, even the biggest wicked person in the world, will be exposed to such a powerful light of good. Who would not be out of their mind not to run after this light? So it's a test in that a person at that point has to be totally honest with himself and say to himself, wait a minute, am I ready for this light? I know who I am. I know all the junk that I came from and my past and everything. I know myself that I'm not fit properly to be able to properly receive and absorb this light. I can experience it, but I know that if I start running after it, I'm going to crash. And I really want stoppers. I want to make sure that I'm going into this step by step and not to crash. This is a big test. And what is the test? To recognize your personal limitations and to work on building what's called the Mesader and Meyashev of the Mochin, are constricted and collecting your mind, not to go overboard with the exposure of this beautiful and a powerful spiritual light that you are experiencing. Because you'll try to connect to it, but it'll make you crash afterwards. That's the test. What do you expect it to do in this test? To hold back, to put on stoppers, hold it. I want this light, but I want to make sure I am able to receive it properly in step by step. And this is the requirement of every Jew, of every person, when experiencing this light, to make sure that they don't just go overboard. The main key to make sure that I have this type of a vessel built, this constriction, which will later be the bridge, the vista, if you want to say, to connect to this infinite light, is, believe it or not, living within the parameters of halacha, of Torah law. Torah law is your key to build the proper vessels and constrictions, and by sticking to that, you will then be able to taste the infinite light, not directly because it's humanly impossible, but through this vessel, this constriction, this wall that you've built, that's filtering the light in such a way that you can receive it in a proper balance and to advance step by step.